A ex-Canada secretary says she floored attempts at intervention and disguised threats of top by the government officials searching a legislative favor for a company cladding a corrupt practices test. Jody Wilson-Raybould told she was compressed often to discover a decision for mechanical engineering gigantic SNC-Lavalin. PM Justin Trudeau has rejected how he or his officials did whatever adverse in their processing of the instance. Her speech are potential to add gas to a increasing policy meltdown for the PM talk on environment to the building of House of Commons Judiciary Board. The ex-Judiciary Secretary and Lawyer General told how she and her personnel floored 4 persons months of a supported and inadequate force to shove for a probable postponed proceedings treaty for the Quebec-based mechanical engineering and building business. How treaty would include permitted the company to escape a penal test and instead of accept to option regulation or facility love penalties or improved accordance measures. It was an stock option discarded in September by the Social Proceedings Facility of Canada, and freelance credibility whose major purpose is to pursue Fed offences, and one she backed. Ms. Wilson-Raybould told she and her aides were stretched in repeated conversations and meetings, a barrier of human beings hounding me and my personnel, in Mr. Trudeau, elder aides of his office space and the financial division, and a top official. In those different meetings, they often groaned concerns on the opportunity of job losses and capacity policy aftermath of a test length following how judgment had been done. During these conversations, down there were pronounced statements concerning the need of intervention in the SNC-Lavalin question, the capacity of ensuing consequences and disguised threats if a postponed proceedings treaty was not done accessible to SNC, she told. Mr. Trudeau's Liberals struggled to include the debate above the history 3 weeks. Although she has been a key drawing at the center of the case, Ms. Wilson-Raybould had not yet speak openly, quoting lawyer-client benefit. How benefit was waived by the government on Monday, pavement the way for her exterior up the board. The began in previous February, while the Ball and Post paper informed on concoction of policy intervention in the instance versus SNC-Lavalin. The paper informed, quoting nameless source, how Mr. Trudeau's office space pressured Ms. Wilson-Raybould to shove the Social Proceedings Facility to believe a postponed proceedings treaty. Ms. Wilson-Raybould was Lawyer General and Judiciary Secretary before January, while she was shuffled in the Veterans Sphere briefcase, a go-wide seen as a degradation. An Lawyer General is imaginary to act alone in honor of his or her indictment feature. On February 12, Ms. Wilson-Raybould obedient abruptly of office, although she remnant a permissive term of Parliament. Eventually on February 18, Mr. Trudeau's top assistant Gerald Butts announced he was resigning, denial in a declaration how he or nobody on his personnel did whatever incorrect but proverb he had to keep so as not to be a diversion of the urgent job creature made by the crew. Mr. Trudeau and his officials rejected whatever incorrect took location but struggled to include the meltdown. View polls specify the question is start to wound the Liberals in months to go before the upcoming general poll. The Quebec-based company is one of the planet's greatest mechanical engineering and building companies. The business and 2 of its subsidiaries person scam and corrupt practices extortion in relationship to about 48 million Cordobas, $36 meter, pound 28 meter, in bribes it is estimated to include proposed to Libyan officials among 2001 and 2011. The treaty, such to regimes in the US and the UK, substantially suspends proceedings time enabling a company to accept instead of to option regulation or facility. SNC-Lavalin and its supporters say it would be unjust to fine the business as a entire and its thousands of employees for the wrongdoings of ex-management team. Prior hearings for the extortion are now up the courts. The business says it will aggressively protect by itself versus the concoction. A belief could outcome in a 10-years-long ban on auction on Canada Fed contracts, that would be a main finance hit for the company.